guys, it's Jen with 2Ns. Welcome back to my channel. So first things first, take a look at this dip powder. This is from the new Shattered collection. I love it. In case you didn't know, I have started my own dip powder company. Dip Nailed It is my company, so that's where I have been. I know I've been gone for a while and I haven't made any videos recently, but I am back and I have my dip powder company, so I'd love it if you would check it out. But in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use dip powder with Mylar pieces. So you want to start with your base coat, and don't mind my base coat there. My labels are a little bit differently now. That is when I first started testing out the liquids. So anyways, start with your base coat on your, hopefully on your nails, but on your swatch if you're practicing. It just starts off like a basic normal application, but definitely make sure you stir your powder first, like I didn't do, because I didn't stir my powder first. If you notice, at the front of my swatch stick, I have a lot more of the Mylar pieces than I had intended. What you really want to try to do is make sure that you get most of the powder on the nail or on your swatch stick. So you don't want as many pieces of the Mylar on for the first layer. So if you stir your powder first, that will help to make sure you don't get as many chunks on your nail. At least for the first layer, you don't want as many chunks because it will thicken your nails up. After the base coat is dry, then dust off the excess powder as normal, and then take a plastic bag, and if you have the chunks on there, just kind of press them down to make sure that they're staying flat. If you have mostly powder on your nail at this point, then the plastic bag isn't as necessary. You're just doing it to lay those pieces as flat as you can get them. Don't worry if they're not flat. Just you want them to stay on the nail. Then you move on and you do your second layer. So you put another layer of base coat on and you dip as normal. I'm just going to let you watch here for a little bit and I'll be back in just a few. If you notice, I did go in for a second dip of my base coat. I just wanted to make sure that I have adequate coverage and even coverage on my swatch stick or my nail. Also, if you notice, we did the pour over the first time. So now I have the powder in my cupcake liner. This is important because you can shake the cupcake liner to get those Mylar pieces up to the top. That's important because the more you have, the more chunks you have at the top, the more that will stay on your nail. So press your nail into the powder, and then this is very important. Before you dust off the excess powder, take a plastic bag and rub those pieces on your nail so that they stay. Very important. This is part of the process. I know normally you want to dust off the powder, but leave it on for this one time. After you use the bag and you brush, or everything is laying flat, and it's dry, then you can dust off the powder. It's okay if it's not very pretty looking right now. We'll fix it. Now it's time for the activator. Activator, as you know, is what hardens the dip so that it can be filed and shaped and molded and all of those fancy things. So put on plenty of activator and let it dry. Once your activator is dry, if you have any large pieces sticking off the sides, like I do with my swatch stick, just take a pair of scissors or cuticle nippers or anything that will cut them and shape it up a little bit more. You could use a file too, but I found it was easier to just cut the pieces off real quick. This is where I cleaned everything up. I don't like working when there's a major mess, so I made sure to put everything away. Also, because we're going to file later, I wanted to make sure that I put the powder away so that any of the file pieces, all of that dust, didn't get mixed in with my powder. So the more you know. Moving on, I use builder gel to encapsulate. Now, I know a lot of times people will use clear powder, and I do too, but I really think for Mylar pieces, because they can be so chunky, that builder gel is the way to go. So I just globbed it on. There really wasn't a method to my, well, there was a method to my madness, but there really wasn't any rhyme or reason. I know that normally if you're using builder gel, then you want to do kind of that fancy back and forth, you know, the proper way to do it. But I really just blobbed it on. I wanted to make sure that I got enough thickness to cover all of the Mylar pieces and that it was even. But it's okay if it's not totally even, because what we're going to do next, it's going to make it even. So I'll let you watch for a little bit and I will be right back. Okay, so I did speed it up a little bit there because it tends to get a little bit boring watching me put builder gel on. Since builder gel is self-leveling, if you notice I'm turning it upside down, that is so that the builder gel will level itself so that it is as even as it can be before I cure it. Hold it upside down for just a few, I mean, it could be seconds or minutes, it just depends, but you want to make sure you turn it and move it so that it doesn't all pool up at the same place. So once you have leveled your builder gel, go ahead and cure it for the required time, the recommended time, I should say. I cured it for 2 minutes. And if you're familiar with builder gel, then you'll know that you should have a sticky layer on your nails still. So I just take some alcohol and a lint-free wipe and I wipe off that sticky layer. Once I do that, it's still a little bit tacky, but if you wait a few seconds, then it ends up drying completely and then you can file it. But we're still wiping off the sticky layer. So also, don't worry if it's not smooth. You will still have some of the Mylar pieces sticking up out of the builder gel. If you can see, it looks kind of jagged and it's not very smooth, but that's okay because we are going to fix it. Now, I highly recommend using an e-file for this. If you don't have an e-file, you can do it manually, but we're going to do both. So it will be a much faster if you use your e-file. What you want to do is take it and you want to file off anything that is uneven, and you really just want to, I turned it on, I think, to like 4 or 5, the level 4 or 5, or maybe I kept it at 3. I don't remember now, but go with what you're comfortable with. But go ahead and file off any of those chunks that are sticking out, and you just want to make the nail completely level and even. It's okay if you end up filing off some of the pieces. It actually helps to contribute to the overall look. It helps to give it that stained glass broken look, which is what the Shattered collection is all about. So go ahead and file and smooth it out, and I'll let you watch me do this for a little bit and I'll meet you back in just a few. So once you are done filing, feel your nail and feel, or your swatch stick. And now you can use your manual file and make sure that this is where you want to shape it. So you use the e-file to kind of make it smooth and level on the top. And then you use your hand file to finish it off, polish it, buff it, and shape it. So I'll let you watch me do that for just a minute. I used a buffer too, obviously, just to really make it smooth and that finished look. So then I look at it from the side and I see that I still had a little bit of a lump there. So I take my hand file again and I just file it down until it's smooth. So after you do that, take another look at it, make sure that you're happy with how it looks from the side and from the top. And I love this. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely think that looks like shattered stained glass. So, of course, dust off all of that extra file dust and get ready for your top coat. I did speed this up because, I'm just putting top coat on and then cure it. I cured it for 2 minutes because that's what I always cure things for. And voila, there we are. So this again is from the Shattered collection. It is dip powder with Mylar pieces. Hopefully you guys found this video informative. I thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe below, and we'll see you guys next time.